Meanwhile, the new nation of South Sudan is taking steps to put in place the elements of a sovereign state. But officials say that while charting their course as Africa's newest nation, South Sudan is being confronted with a variety of challenges. To give us insight into the state of the new nation, I'm joined by Ezekiel Gatkuoth, head of the Mission Embassy of the Republic of Sudan here in the United States. Ezekiel, welcome to In Focus.
Thank you very much.
Now, as we saw in the preceding package there, South Sudan, this new nation of Africa, while celebrating, is also facing some challenges.
Yes.
First, give us a sense of what are the most kind of the critical issues that you're dealing with right now.
Thank you for having me here. Well, of course, as a new nation, we have a lot of challenges. Recently, my president, His Excellency General Salva Kiir Mayardit, actually formed his government. And if you look at the government itself, it is actually basically regional balance, because for us to be united as a nation, we have three regions in South Sudan: Bahr Ghazal, Equatoria, and Upper Nile. So the cabinet is reflecting the regional balance that we are having. And of course, when you have a cabinet in place, then you will be actually facing with a lot of challenges. One of the things that we are actually dealing with is the expectations of communities. The people are expecting too much. They want clean drinking water, roads, and food to eat. So basically, we are going to be dealing with those challenges. And of course, the development, because, you know, basically, South Sudan is not developed for some time.
Now, we have thousands of people coming back to Sudan, either from outside of the country, but others even from the north. And also, we're getting people being displaced from other areas like Kordofan and the areas of Abyei, where there have been flares of violence. How are you handling this situation?
Of course, the government of South Sudan actually made it very clear that we have to resettle our communities, those who were in the north before. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, they have been actually tasked with the responsibility of bringing back our people from the north. And also, as you stated very clearly, in the two areas, the southern Kordofan and Blue Nile, people are also running away from the fighting that is happening in those two areas. So we are actually basically dealing with those challenges, and we are appealing to the world for assistance so that these people can be resettled in the south, and the refugees that are coming from the north are also being assisted so that they can get some basic needs that they wanted to have.
Yes. Any nation wants to attract as much investment, and especially direct foreign investment, in order to spur the growth of that economy. What is the Republic of South Sudan doing specifically to make sure that in the short term you can bring in a lot of investment which will help develop your economy?
Definitely, you know, South Sudan has a lot of potentials. Agriculture is there, oil is there, minerals is there. So that what we are doing now to attract investors is to make sure that the laws are in place, the corruption is fought seriously, so that investors can have confidence in that country. And the president is very clear about fighting corruption. And then definitely infrastructures should be in place so that when the investors are actually in the country, they will be able to access those areas where they can invest in.
Yes, very briefly, good that I actually mentioned the aspect of corruption. The interim government was being accused of massive corruption. Given that this is an illness that has afflicted many African nations, how is the Republic of Southern Sudan trying to learn from the mistakes of the existing free nations of Africa in order to have a brand new kind of concept of governorship?
You know, definitely for the last 27 years we have been fighting, so we don't really know how to run a government. But now when we took over from the north in the south, so there was nothing. We were actually starting from scratch. The institutions were not there. So we were actually basically learning how to run the government. But we managed to actually fight corruption, and we will continue to do that by making sure that resources are actually utilized for the benefit of the communities. We are fighting, and we are going to learn from the mistakes of African leaders who used the money of the public for their own personal gains. But now we are actually focused, and we will actually fight corruption.
I'll call you back here in a few more years, and then we'll see how things are happening in South Sudan.
Okay.
Ezekiel, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For coming to join us today. Ezekiel Gatkuoth, head of mission, the Embassy of the Republic of South Sudan here in Washington, D.C.